Welcome to Pound for Pound ATL, arguably the best place to get facts and opinions on your Atlanta Falcons. And absolutely the best place to get your opinions in. The guys are here, the chat is ready, and the conversation starts now.
What's going on, football fans? It's your boys back again with another Pound for Pound ATL Live. We did it. The season's done. The season's over. We made it. Man. And you know what? There's a lot of good. There's a lot of bad. And there's some funky. But all in all, I don't know. I feel pretty good. How about you, Toby?
We got work to do to improve, to win more games than 7. And I think that winning 7 games adds a little bit of a more extra pressure on Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith to figure out how they can improve this roster without jeopardizing your 2023 season to improve better. And we got a brutal schedule ahead of us, Doc, too, man.
Yeah, no, this upcoming 2022's, like we got obviously plenty of time to talk about it, but this upcoming 2022 schedule is not like user friendly. You know, it's a much harder schedule. You know, for the pessimistic fans out there, I'm sure we're going to hear all off season like you're only able to beat the bad teams. Well, I mean I agree, but I hate to inform you people in that sense. Like this year we were a bad team, and so you beat the teams that you were supposed to beat, and a few of the games of the more competitive teams you were actually competitive in.
Yeah,
like you were competitive against the Bills. You know, you beat a Saints team early on that was right there at the end fighting for a playoff spot that had a really good defense. You know, so there's a lot of things that you can shake your head at if you want to in this particular season, but there's also some things that you can look at it going, okay, I can kind of see what the vision is supposed to be or what they're gunning for, and it's something that me myself I can get behind.
Yeah. Now, JR, before we go any further, shout out to all the Dogs fans.
Oh man, yeah.
And now, champions, and 2 times we got championship in the last 4 months, Doc. I say the curse is getting broken. So
I don't think there was a curse to begin with, but you know, I'll say this. Yeah. You know, that whole concept, you got to beat the man to be the man. Well, you beat the man.
That's right.
And that was a very good win by the Dogs. That was a dog win in the sense of how you had been playing all year. You know, you won with your defense, and that's something that we can want to get into here in a minute. Like, I want to be able to say that kind of thing about the Falcons. Like, you won with your defense, you know.
Yeah.
But that pick 6 at the end by Keely Ringo was a thing of beauty. You know, that was a well done, well timed play. Y'all know me. I'm not like the biggest like college team fan, but obviously I wanted to see the Dogs win, and I root for all the teams that are in Georgia. So to see them be able to come away with a natty light, my sister-in-law is a huge UGA fan, so to see, like, to be able to watch to see how happy she was, you know what I'm saying? That was awesome.
Dude, I've been smiling from ear to ear, barking, everything all week long. And I got 2 more days to bark some more.
There you go.
Before.
Now, for me, you know, I was, you know, a lot of rooting interest in that game, not only from the Dogs' perspective, but it was nice to see like James Cook get rolling. Even Brian Robinson had some good runs. He's a guy who I have liked so far through this process. You know, the early parts of the drafting process. Speaking of that, we are locked into the number 8 spot. So for all you people who were clamoring for us to have a top 10 pick and was worrying we was going to win too many games and mess it up, you got your top 10 pick. You got your top 10 pick, and the Saints didn't go to the playoffs. So can't ask for much more than that out of how this season turned out anyway. Now, to talk about that Saints game just a little bit, the only thing that bothered me is it really felt like a lot of the players were just done.
They were.
It felt like that they were just done. They were, a lot of them guys who are one-year guys, a lot of them guys maybe felt like they're not going to be here next year. I didn't see the energy that you saw from the Lions or the Jags in their last game. And so that is a little bit, concerning. Like has the majority of the team did the message not invigorate them kind of deal? This is something that we'll have to keep an eye on as the offseason progresses and as Arthur Smith's tenure progresses. Just because, we felt like he was going to be a good coach and was the coach to turn it around, don't mean we're right, or doesn't mean it's always right.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, the jury is still out on Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot.
Mm-hmm.
Did Arthur Smith do some good things this year? Yes. We were better in the red zone, especially before Calvin Ridley stepped away, and everybody was, the rest of the league was able just to key in on what we were doing, because you didn't really have anybody to, really strike fear, so to speak, and you were just trying to bandage it all together. There were some things that I would have liked to have seen Arthur Smith do a little differently. But before I continue going on my rant, what were some of the things maybe that stood out to you in his first year?
Where I'm impressed at is this. We got 7 wins despite some bad coaching decisions coming into the offseason and the preseason, in my opinion. You got 7 wins despite some front office decisions, because I clearly, and you would agree as well, believe that there was some room for them to do some other things, contracts and stuff like that. You got the win with bad coaching in some of these games. You got seven wins out of that. So that impressed me. Now, all those things I mentioned, you better fix them going into year 2 and year 3, or you and Terry Fontenot will find both of you out on your behinds, working an assistant job or offensive coordinator job somewhere else. I will say that.
Yeah. No, yeah, there were some things like continuously rolling out there with Jalen Mayfield at left tackle, or left guard rather. That's concerning. Especially when you didn't see much improvement throughout the whole year. Now look, I know some offensive linemen take more than a year to get acclimated, and he was switching positions from right tackle to left guard. I understand a lot of the reasonings behind it. So, they clearly went with the mentality of trial by fire, and he's going to have to work it out, kind of deal. Because who'd you put in there? Because he was out on Sunday. They put in Gossett, wasn't it?
Yeah, they put Gossett, and he wasn't no better.
Right. So that also could have been part of it.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see if, maybe it was a little overwhelming for Dwayne Ledbetter or Ledford. Ledbetter.
Yeah.
Ledford, because this was his first year as a pro coach. He had spent a good bit of time in the college ranks, so maybe it was taking him a little bit of time, adjusting. I'm not sure. There are things that are going to worth keeping an eye on, the ancillary behind the scenes type stuff. Do they make some switches at position coaches? You've already lost your running back coach.
Yep, Desmond Kitchens.
He went to go be the OC at Virginia, I believe. And it was also announced, regardless of what you think about it, it was also announced that Pease will be back. Like Smith confirmed that.
Yeah.
So I'm good. What's that?
That he would confirm.
Yeah, that was about the only thing he'd confirm.
Yeah.
But I'm glad of that, because if you're going to make the strides to switch to a 3-4, he needs to stay until we get that fully switched.
Right.
That's part of me that wonders, some of these position moves or some of these personnel moves that we're going to be talking about as the offseason ramps on is especially on the defensive side, there was a lot of praise and stuff throughout the whole year for Grady Jarrett, but there wasn't a lot of production from Grady Jarrett.
Right.
Not his normal production. And you also heard him in that mic'd up, his frustration about the comment, don't y'all have to block anybody else? So you can definitely start to feel some of the frustrations of the ineptitude of previous regimes now getting almost boiled over. It's almost like a sense of, I'm willing to deal with it because y'all was my dog. TD and DQ, y'all was the one that drafted me. Y'all the one that believed in me. These guys, they're new in here. And now maybe I'm feeling myself knowing that it could be coming to an end for me here. So I'm just letting no longer holding back on my frustrations.
Yeah. So I'll say this, and I think a lot of these guys really did love Dan Quinn a little bit more than we thought. And I think you can tell it. It's the reason why, Julio Jones, who spoke up for Dan Quinn, is out of there. And I think Calvin Ridley is feeling that too. They're not really happy that the way things went down with Dan Quinn. They really love Dan Quinn. And us as fans didn't, because we wasn't winning.
Right.
But they did, and you can tell. And I think Grady and Deion Jones, you can tell their frustration with the roles that they've had to take on, and which is not roles they're familiar with or used to, that limited their production. So I don't know how that's going to end up in the offseason, and that's something we'll get into definitely to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
What should be done with those guys, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, these are going to be, topics of discussion. That's with the thumbnail that I even put up there, one of the little things that I threw up there was future's murky. And the future's murky for a lot of guys. You had reports, and you're still seeing reports come out, but you had reports that, that the Falcons were locked in for Matt Ryan for 2022. Well, when given the opportunity to say they were locked in, neither Smith nor Fontenot would.
Right.
I mean, Smith even said, "Look, I'm not going to paint us into a corner. Not right now. Not coming off a game. I'm not." And I understood the sentiment, but the fact that the last game of the season, you're not willing to say this is my guy.
Right.
That says all I really need to know there. That says to me that if somebody approaches with the right package, they'll eat that $40 million and move on. Which look, at this point, y'all going, if any of y'all follow me on Twitter, y'all gonna start to see a new mantra from me, and that new mantra is Ryan will be gone soon enough. Y'all just wait. Whether it's the end of next season, the season after, Ryan will be gone soon enough. And y'all will have to find somebody else to point your frustrations at.
Yeah.
Whether it's Arthur Smith, whether it's Arthur Blank, whether it's Terry Fontenot, you'll have to find somebody else for your your punching bag. Because I'll tell you this, and I ain't gonna spend much time on it because I've made a decision not to spend a lot of energy defending a future Hall of Fame quarterback. But I'll tell you this, 2 charts I saw today. One was the amount of protection that pass protection where the Falcons ranked. The Falcons ranked 31 out of 32 teams in pass protection this past year. How do you expect anybody, I don't care who they are, how do you expect anybody to perform behind that line.
Right.
And that's running backs included, because we're going to get into that in a minute. Like, this line played atrocious all the way around, okay? Number two, somebody put together a metric about, like, how much the team helped the quarterback. Defensive, offensive line, running back, all of it. Falcons were dead last. Dead last in that one. Okay? So, that means tell me that Ryan ain't getting no help from his team, and he's not getting protected by the O-line.
No.
But yet, he still almost put up his he was in his normal margin of stats. Like, he was 30-something yards away from 4,000 yards. So this was the first time in like 11 or 12 years he's missed the 4,000-yard mark, right?
Right. Yeah.
But hell, he only missed it by 30 yards, okay? And he hit 20 touchdowns again for, I think, the 10th consecutive season. His completion percentages were close to 65%, and he barely had over double-digit interceptions. So Matt Ryan, even with all this going on, still gave you a standard performance of his.
Yeah.
Which is saying something, minus your top two receiving options from last year. Now you have Russell Gage as your number one, and Kyle Pitts is the only other real threat. Because whether people want to admit it, what I feared really did come to pass. The last 4 or 5 games, Cordell Patterson's effectiveness went down.
Mm-hmm.
People started keying in on Cordell Patterson. You knew that was going to happen. And so the last few games, he wasn't nearly as electric as he had been.
Nope, not at all. Yeah, I mean, Matt Ryan's number shockingly about where they normally are with first-time coordinators. Now, I thought that, and I said in the offseason, I'll stand by that. I did say in the offseason, I thought his numbers would be better because Arthur Smith has coached with guys that Matt Ryan has dealt with throughout his career. So I felt that they would know each other a little bit better than what they were. But the numbers do show that they're right in line basically with where he's been with first-year coordinators. Now, let's see if he is the quarterback, since Arthur Smith don't want to admit to the reports that were put out by Chris Mortensen. Let's see what he does in 2022.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, if he's back and they have, if they bolster the supporting cast around him, even in the sense of an offensive line, I would expect it to be quite a bit better than it was. Because, I mean, I was trying to see what Russell Gage ended up with by, the total of the season. So, Russell Gage, 66 receptions, 770 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Which I kind of figured that's where they were going to be. I mean, that's about in line where he was last year.
Yeah.
And he had a little bit more last year because what was his numbers in 2020?
2020, he was at, 786 with 4 touchdowns.
Okay. So they're about the same?
Mm-hmm. About the same. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And, that don't spell number.
What's that?
But anyway.
What'd you say?
That's the number one wide receiver. But anyway.
No. But there's a number of questions that you're going to have to ask. Do you bring him back, right? Do you bring him back? You got to try to bring Foye back, I would imagine. I can't see you letting Foye walk away after you basically demoted Deion Jones.
Right.
So I can't, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, like I said, there's plenty that we're going to talk on. But for now, that is the opening salvo. But let's jump into chat here. Site BTW says, "Hey guys, good evening. Happy to spend my evening with the best Falcons channel out there." Well, we appreciate that. Charleston Nash says, "What's up, guys? I caught the last live stream of the season. Thank you, Lord. Well, we're glad you're here, Charleston." Mississippi Paper says the season is in the books. Not bad at all. It could have been a lot worse. I mean, it could have been better. You know, you had an easier schedule. You could have found your way in, but all things considered, it could have been a lot worse. Jaden Sheffer says, "What's up, y'all? How's everybody's day going?" It's pretty good. Yeah, we here. So, Joseph Thornton says, "What's up?" Same thing with Genuine Music and CK22. Millie Mills and Dexter Vallish are in the house. Melvin Emery says, "What's up, fellas? Happy New Year's to you all, pound for pound family." Same to you, sir. Woon Carter's in the building. What's going on, Woon? Genuine Music says, Traylon Burks, wide receiver from Arkansas, a beast. Check him out. Yeah, his name gets brought up quite a bit. I know that's a good time to do a little bit of a promo. If y'all hadn't had a chance, go check out Pound for Pound ATL Live. That's P for live. Listen to me. P4PATL.com. That's the new website we launched last week. A lot of our draft evaluations are going on there. Toby has spent a good bit of time looking at and evaluating O-line. I have put together some evaluations on some running backs and some D-line guys. So, and if y'all are looking for mock drafts, our mock drafts are there with some explanations on who we're picking and why. So go check that out. That's P4PATL.com. All right.
And that is in our description, by the way.
So, correct. That is in the description.
You will see that there.
Right. All right. Keep on keeping on. Joshua Mulaney says, "What's up, fellas? Is it too early to be excited for the draft?" No, it is not too early to be excited for the draft. To the point that we are gearing up to go down to the Senior Bowl. Me and Toby, pound for pound, will have boots on ground at Senior Bowl in Mobile, getting a live look at a lot of these guys. This is like the Senior Bowl is really turning into a place to be for a lot of these draft guys who are eligible to be there. So I'm very excited about that opportunity that we've been blessed with there. And we're going to try to do what we can to make the most of it. Let's see here. Keep where was I left off at Joshua. It says, they better draft Pease, one of these animal pass rushers. Get that D straight somewhat. Hopefully another solid safety opposite of Terrell. Yeah, like bolstering that secondary, like continuing to build that secondary is not a bad option. That's the great thing about it right now. In all honesty, there really isn't a bad option. Like you can, like we got so many daggum holes that you can, as long as you don't, in my opinion, and this is not even trying to be funny, even with uncertainty with Ryan or whatever, as long as you ain't drafting a quarterback in the first round, you pretty much can draft whatever you need. One second. Toby, do me a favor.
I don't want you taking a quarterback at all in this draft because there is nobody in this draft that I'm even excited about. All those guys are developmental guys. I don't care if they get drafted. Matt Corral,
Bailey Zapp out of Western Kentucky.
Yeah, none of them guys. They're developed straight up developmental, late first round.
Right.
Two of them at least. Everybody else, Carson Strong, what we should see at the Senior Bowl, going to be trying to prove himself. He will have his running teammate, wide receiver Romeo Dobbs, that will be there. Huge, big time vertical threat, by the way. I've already started looking into these guys and the wide receivers, and we'll talk about Traylon Burke because he's one of those old school Julio Jones type players. May not be as fast,
right?
But he's definitely one of those old school wheel block type guys. But yeah, do not take no quarterback in this draft. I don't care what you do. They shouldn't even be anywhere. When you get ready to pick the best player available, I do not see them being even close to the next guy that's better.
Right, and maybe that quarterback class is why you got the comment from Arthur Smith about how excited they were with Felipe Franks.
Yeah,
because
that should tell you a lot.
Right, exactly. I mean, right now, in my opinion, what you have in Franks and Josh Rosen should have you steer clear from anything that quarterback wise that's really in this draft, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit of evaluation on Matt Corral and Billy Zapp, or Bailey Zapp rather. Matt Corral, what makes it hard, evaluating that type of quarterback is he was in a heavy RPO system, to a point where he's reading his key, whatever his key is on that particular play, and either throwing the hot read or giving it to the running back, or running it himself. There was no progression reading. Hardly ever did you see him actually try to read through his progression. If he chose to pull it and make the hot throw, if he decided at that moment the hot throw wasn't there, he was running, and that was the offense, right?
Yeah.
So, Matt Corral didn't necessarily impress me. Zapp, I could see him being a developmental guy that you took in the 5th round, and him be a high caliber backup for his entire career. But anyway, I ain't getting bogged down by quarterback talk.
Yeah, because it ain't much to talk about.
Even if they make a decision to trade Ryan, they better do something in the sense of trading Ryan for and I'm saying this on purpose, trading him for a Drew Lock or something, somebody who's already gotten a little bit of experience in this league and can maybe make service for a year or two. You definitely, I wouldn't be spending draft capital on a quarterback in this draft, at least not that I've seen yet. All right, let's keep on keeping on. Fred Butt says, "How about them dogs?" Hell, you get that to be happy about for sure. William Amy says, "Hey, from Brookhaven, Georgia. What's going on there, Brookhaven?"
What's up, Brookhaven?
That's right. Nick says, "Don't waste the 8th pick. That's the hope. You don't want to waste any of them. No excuse for year 2. Davis and Grady." I think he's talking about Jordan Davis and Grady, or Foye and Nakobe Dean. That would be interesting, Nakobe Dean, but he's a Mike as well. I don't know if you'd want to draft a Mike if you feel like you got a Mike in Foye.
Yeah, see, the only thing is we can't ignore him because if he's best player available, but he would have to get over Devin Floyd. And if Devin Floyd has an impressive Senior Bowl, I mean, he's already projected a top 10 pick, Devin Floyd is, from Utah. Right. So if he has a great Senior Bowl, then it's going to be hard for Nakobe Dean to jump him at that top 10. He will definitely solidify that spot. And I do believe he's going to blow away the combine. Hopefully we have one, because with all this stuff going on. But I'm not going to damn anybody right now with that. But if we have a combine, I do envision Devin Floyd going the Senior Bowl and that away.
Right.
And solidifying his top 10 spot.
Anonymous says some of these guys that checked out after the season aren't true pros, then still have to show effort, not only for this team, but for future NFL. That's true. I mean, if they check out, that tends to be a bad sign. But, I mean, in this day and age, a lot of people think a lot differently,
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, I feel bad for Mike Davis, man.
That was tough to read that apology, wasn't it?
It was, but they definitely, you could tell when they took Patterson out, they was giving Davis every chance to prove that he should be back here next year, but he fumbled it away twice. And he put the ball on the ground quite a bit this season, guys.
He, to me, you can't. I say you can't. It's hard to justify, and you have to ask yourself, as a fan, as a coach, you have to ask yourself how much of his lack of production was because of a bad line. But 3.6 yards average and only 3 touchdowns, 503 yards on 138 rushes. I mean, you kind of end up going away with knowing that Davis is what he is. He's a backup. And He's not a guy who can like really carry the load.
Right.
So, Be Strong tipped us $2, which we appreciate, B.
Yeah, that Be Strong.
He says, do you think Ridley will be a Falcon in 2022? If you ask me today what you're doing, I don't think so. I don't think, like right now, my heart, my gut tells me that he won't be a Falcon, because even in that press conference, like the words that Arthur Smith or Terry Fontenot used was, we have done everything that we can do. Like that you can read into that how you want to. He said, we have done everything we can do. We're doing everything we can do. Like it's a small difference, but it's a difference, So I don't know. Right now, I don't think so. Toby?
Yeah, I say no. When you still after the offseason say that there's, nothing that's changed about the situation, but they're going to support him. That to me rings, we're trying to keep this as quiet as possible until we can find a legitimate trade partner.
Right.
He can start over.
That's right.
I mean, I just think that's, I like I said earlier, I think a lot of these guys love Dan Quinn more than what we knew, and that really destroyed a lot of them guys, and they didn't like how it went down, especially after Julio Jones stood up in front of everybody and voiced his, mind about keeping Dan Quinn here and saving his job. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's yeah, like I said, I don't think Ridley will be back. I really don't. Which sucks, but it is what it is. That's part of it. Let's see. William says, got so many holes on your roster. Yep. Millie Mills talking about Dante failure. Yeah, he definitely didn't make his millions, did he?
no.
Yeah, he can go try to make his millions somewhere else, I think, at this point. William says drone defense like running back, free safety outside of Jalen. I don't know what you mean by that. Sorry, buddy. Anonymous says, miracle that Ryan had those stats with no help. Some QBs get all the help they need from their office and still aren't as good. And that's the topic of discussion, right? In a sense, like that's how much of it, like a lot of people who aren't fans of Ryan will look at somebody like myself and say, oh, well, you're just making excuses for him. I guess. I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm making excuses. But I'll tell you this, in a fit of, like, one of the things that made me go, all right, look, stop defending him, in a sense. Stop wasting your energy. But do you know and realize that the GOAT, Tom Brady, who I do think is one of the best, if not the best quarterback that has ever stepped foot on a football field, never won a Super Bowl without a top 10 defense? Like, never. Every Super Bowl that he won, all of them, he had a top 10 defense. There was a few times he had a top 1 defense. What I'm getting at is this is a team sport. Mm-hmm. All the way around. Go look up Russell Wilson's numbers from this season. Russell Wilson had a decent defense. He had Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. He didn't put up very good numbers this year. They missed the playoffs. They didn't even win as many games as the Falcons did. It's a team sport.
It is.
Yeah. But quarterbacks make all the money. So they're the ones that are going to get, too much dumped on them in praise and too much dumped on them in scorn. So
yeah,
that is what that is.
That Saints game was very disappointing. And I hated to see the guys really check out like that. But see it, man, they just always like, let's just get this game over with, get into the off season and see what's gonna happen, because we don't have anything else to play for. And you don't want to see your team do that, but this at least gives some clarity for Arthur Smith to see what guys really want to be here.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't. I mean, the top 2 wide receivers have already
checked out in whatever capacity you want to put it,
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. That it lets him know like who really wants to be here. You got, Cordell Patterson like wearing cleats talking about why not retire here kind of deal.
Yeah. Check. He got to cut the check, Blank.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I saw that one today. Cut the check, Blank. Like, and it's so good. I want guys who want to be here.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, I want guys who are effective, at their position, but I definitely want guys who want to be here.
Yep.
So, like, bring back Cordell, but I want Cordell back and not having to be as much of a focus as he was.
And he can't be. He cannot, because he's not one to carry the load either.
No.
He's a great change of pace back who's, a James Cook.
Right.
Who catch the ball, 5 wide offense, and really make that 5 wide offense go. But you can't rely on him as your full-time back. Nope. It's just not work.
Nope. And that's the deal. Is like, you get me a Cordell Patterson and pair him when I talk about coaching decisions, like, we don't know what goes on behind the door, but I would love to have seen Quadre get some more run. Like, every time he was given a chance, he looked good doing it. So I don't know what the holdup was there. I could have a bias because I'm a Quadre guy, but like, you pair, like, if you would have earlier in the season, in my opinion, like, gave way and let Quadre be the lead back and had Quadre and, like, Patterson spelling him every now and again, or, I think that could have been a pretty good combination.
It just was something that they felt that they didn't see much that they wanted to see out of Quadre. And then you got to take into account he missed some off-season practices due to other things that was going on. He missed some games due to some things that was going on. So we don't really know everything that was going on, but he wasn't as accessible as you probably would have liked either throughout the year. I don't know what's going on in that area, but we definitely will see if he still has a future with the Atlanta Falcons after this season.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting question.
Yeah, it is going to be an interesting question because he did get cut, right before the season started for Wayne Gallman. They ended up getting cut, so, I think a lot of it had to do with, the decisions Smith was making, his evaluation of how he wanted things done. We also got to realize that it was the first year for him too.
Right.
So I expect a good bit more streamlined next year, So I'm really hoping to see steps in the right direction. Philip Bonner gave us $5, which we appreciate, Philip.
Appreciate that.
He said, P for P, what's going on, gents? I'm excited to hear from y'all throughout the offseason. Y'all are darn good at what you do, and I'm always down for y'all. Well, we appreciate that.
Hey, thank you.
We try to be good, we try to have fun doing it. We try to give y'all the content and the information that y'all want, and y'all show us what y'all want by what y'all interact with, So, like the failed experiment of fantasy, y'all did not want fantasy. I saw those numbers. I was like, "Whoa, Lord!" All right, back into chat. Let's see. Emory Robbins says get Gallup in free agency. Hopefully Ridley comes back and we're set at wide receiver. Then draft edge or cornerback first. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of, that's something that, like, keep your eye on the channel, because that's something I'm gonna start digging into here, is who I think we should go after in free agency. Because we're gonna have to fill out this roster, and we got a little bit more money, at least right now, than we did last year. And with only 29 to 31 guys on under contract, we're going to have to sign some guys, obviously, and hopefully we can get some better caliber players this time around. Let's see. King says, I think it's time to change it up. I wonder what Atlanta Falcons would look like from being for being a defensive team. I think it's time to get Grady some help on the D-line. Yeah, I've been saying that for a while. I would love to, for a while, know that our defense can win us a game. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, so I will say this because I know a lot of us want a shutdown defense overnight, but ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to be able to build that type of defense in 2022. I just don't see it. I think you got a better chance, and the analytics would show historically to build that offense faster than you're going to be able to get that defense because you couldn't score points either. And that you got 4 games that I think we scored 30 points in out of 17 games this season. You got to get that offensive line right. You got to get some more skilled positions to score points because, ladies and gentlemen, this schedule here, there's some teams on this schedule that will score you out of the building.
Yep. No, yeah, you definitely going to have to – you've got to fix, if it's the offensive line that's holding you back, which I feel like it really is, you've got to fix it. Like straight up and down.
I could be wrong. We could miraculously build that defense for Dean Pease in his second season. But I'm definitely glad that he is coming back because what he was able to do with the little that he had makes me very confident. And, guys, you already know, Dean Pease likes his veterans.
Oh, yeah.
So if we take a guy at that 8 spot, if it ain't Aiden Hutchinson and Thibodeau, I don't know if Karlaftis is going to be starting his first year.
I'll tell you this: if it's Hamilton, if it's Kyle Hamilton, or Derek Stingley,
they
start.
Now, I will take.
Yeah, they start.
That's like the skill positions on the defense.
Right. Yeah, if it's one of those like high caliber secondary guys, they're starting for sure.
If Kyle Hamilton falls to the Atlanta Falcons, I might cry when we like because I got a chance to watch this dude and he can do all the safety boxes.
Oh yeah, he's a beast of a. As much as Pease likes safety play.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, he's a beast for sure. Let's see.
Instinctive. You can see it on film.
Oh, yeah.
He is so smart, man. Dude. Okay. Let's keep moving. I can talk about this dude. I'm getting excited.
Right? Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and the great thing is there's a lot of this is the defensive heavy draft as far as where it's deep at. You're bringing up guys Karlaftis or Karlaftis or whatever that dude's name is.
Karlaftis.
Yeah, him, Thibodeau. Hutchison, Jobo. You got Cameron, Chris Jameson's bringing up Cameron Thomas. There's a lot of guys that can fit that mold, which is great because, like I said, we need it straight up and down. King says they should cut Debo and start Michael Walker. He deserves 80% of the time snap. He's in the game on the field. He's made some plays. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I would love to see. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what cutting Debo does. I know if you trade him, it's a better cap-wise, but who knows, trading people in the NFL don't necessarily go down like it does in other sports. So I'm not sure you'd find a trade partner for him, but I agree I would like to see Michael Walker get on the field more because Debo definitely seems like one of those guys that was disinterested in a Dean Pease defensive system.
Yeah, especially when you feel demoted.
Yeah, exactly. So
that one making those plays, getting the interceptions, and now they kind of I don't know, they lost confidence in your ability. But Debo didn't fit the prototypical Mike that Pease is used to.
Right.
And hey,
it is what it is at this point. You either get over it, or if you need to move on, then move on. Let's see here. YMOF Jamal says, "What's up, P for P family? What's going on, buddy? Glad you're here." Gerald Reed says, "People are walking away from PSLs. Being in the stadium this year was shameful." I mean, that's the decision they had to make. I get it. I was not able to go to an actual live game this year because it's just out of my price range.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'll support them the best way I can. So, Tony Rice says, "What's up, fellas? I am late to the party. You ain't never late, Tony. You're here." He said, "If you're speaking on Calvin Ridley, let's move on and trade him for a second. Well, you'll see what you could trade him for. You might not get a third out of it. I don't know. Who knows? Like a guy who stepped away for a year, like the team you're trading him to has got to be real confident that they can re-sign him."
Yeah.
Let's see. Keith Simmons says maybe we could clear cap space and get some O-line help in free agency. That's the hope. That is the hope. We're going to have to. Michael Walker says Russ also had a run game. He also had a run game. So, let's see. Isaac Crime says, as bad as our O-line was, Matt wasn't the most sacked QB. Nope, he was not the most sacked QB, but they did not disappoint, and they did let him get sacked over 40 times.
Yeah, baby.
For what, a fourth year in a row now?
Yep, the fourth season in a row, buddy.
Right.
And he's probably got like 150 hits.
Yeah. So
to it.
Go tell me how many times Tom Brady got sacked, and maybe we'll have a talk of why things turned out differently.
Speaking of Tom Brady, I can tell you already my number one center that I would like to get.
Oh, is Jensen? Ain't his name?
Yes, sir. Ryan Jensen. Yep. He's got that nasty, and he will not allow anyone to mess with his QB. And we got guys, I don't know if you realize it or not, some Falcons fans, that a lot of the free agents that we brought in had connections with guys on the staff. So whether it was the coaching or the office front, that'll be something you want to look into when you're looking at the free agents because of their connection. And Ryan Jensen definitely has a connection with a couple of those guys that are in that front office of under Terry Fontenot.
Right. Yep. Bradley Burnett tipped us $5, which we appreciate. He says, "Good evening, guys. Already jacked up for the draft and ready to see our free agency moves this offseason." Oh, yeah, dude. The closer we got to the end of the season, the more excited I was getting about like how to build this team for next year.
Yeah.
Atlanta Braves 27. This is Matt Ryan. Okay, this year Matt Ryan looked like the Matt Ryan all the haters talk about. Simply put, the play calling has to be better. Don't think the coaching staff knows what to do with this caliber of quarterback. Well, they did early on. Early on, they were gripping it and ripping it. But I think as the O-line play wore on, they realized if they kept doing that, they were going to get them killed. So it went into one read, quick pass, like snap, throw, because, I mean, that's what you had to do,
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, King, he hates it when we get into the Matt gets all the praise. Look, that's my new answer. Don't worry, King. He'll be gone soon enough. Don't worry. Then you can talk about another quarterback. So don't worry. He'll be gone soon enough. Jarvis Murray says, my honest opinion is that it takes too much to put around Matt at this point in his career to win. It's time to just go to a different round. I understand what you're saying, like it takes too much, but be honest with yourself in this sense. And again, my standard answer is going to be, don't worry, he's going to be gone soon enough. But keep in mind the amount that it takes to put around him to make him successful. It's going to take that much more for a rookie to be successful.
Right.
Like more.
Rookies, no.
So, like we all, again, this past season is a perfect example. We all joked and kid and poked fun and all this other stuff at Mac Jones and being drafted anywhere close in the conversation with anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Who's having a good year? Mac Jones. Why? He had the structure in place.
Yep.
Straight up and down. You got Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson that had all the God-given talent in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they're out there flailing because they ain't got the structure around them.
And only two of those have their head coach going into only two, and one of those had a head coach because two of them don't have a head coach no more.
Right.
And that's the Chicago Bears
and Jacksonville
and Jaguars. The Jets are the only one where Salah is still there.
Exactly. So I mean, like now you can make a case where you didn't really see much out of Trey Lance because of the situation.
Yeah.
But yet, that's another one that you got a good situation.
Yeah.
He'll probably be out of this draft. We'll look back in 10 years probably, and it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Mac Jones and Trey Lance are the ones standing at the top.
Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo saved his job and kept Trey Lance off. And it actually helps Trey Lance because Trey Lance can properly develop and not be rushed into action.
And not even just that, like Garoppolo also did a favor. He gets hurt a little bit, so Trey Lance gets a little bit of action.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but then Garoppolo comes back and Trey Lance gets to sit back down after having some live fire and some success.
Right.
So I get it. I understand that it's going to take a lot, and there's been times during this season and right now as the season ends before I see any moves made, like I have a feeling that like the chances of winning a championship before Ryan retires are pretty slim because of the shape of this roster and what it takes to build. So I get where you're coming from. But I also caution you to don't think that just moving on from Ryan is going to be a solution. Because it ain't. You know, having Ryan at least gives you a chance to have, decent football to watch from time to time.
Well, I tell you what, though.
Oh.
Second year in the top 10. So if that's what it's getting us to be in that top 10 for a little bit until we get to that place where we can win, because to me, 2023 is the time where Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot is going to have to turn the Jets on to get this team to win. Or I do believe they might be on their way out.
Oh, yeah. Like 2023, like you got to be more than sniffing the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like you got to be in the playoffs.
It up to that 2023 too, because you hear him mention that 2022, 2023 a lot.
Right. Yep. No, you're 100% right on that. Like I think that's where like that 2022, 2023 is I would think be the target. Somebody asked if Kenny Pickens is there, do we take him? No. But like if anybody's out there actually like going for a quarterback, Pickens will be gone before we pick. Like Pickens to me is the only one that might be worth picking in the first round. But no, I don't want any of these quarterbacks. None of them. Like I take a year of Josh Rosen starting. Be honest with you. Like that up, I will.
Yeah.
I'll take a year of that. Somebody suggested trading Ridley to Baltimore for Huntley. Yeah, sure. Like if your plan is to get rid of Ryan, then you can bring me a bridge quarterback like a Huntley, like a Drew Lock. I made that joke earlier, but like that's the caliber of quarterback I'm talking about.
Now let me ask you a question. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Huntley play in the East-West Shrine game? I think because if that is him that I'm thinking about, he had an impressive game in that East-West Shrine game. If that's him that I'm thinking about.
Let's see.
Somebody Huntley.
I can't. Let's see. Tyler Huntley. That's it. Let's see. Let's go to his Wikipedia page.
Yeah. Because I could have I remember, man, it was a Huntley, man. He was killing it. And I was like, man, this guy had something.
So he played for the Utah Utes, where he went to college. He is a sprightly 6'1", 196. Thrown for a decent amount of yards, good amount of touchdowns. Now let's try Shrine game. Shrine Bowl. All right. Tyler Huntley throws touchdown pass on 4th down in Shrine Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's probably the guy you're talking about.
Yeah, that's where I remember him from because he looked impressive. And that's why you got to watch them bowl games, man.
Yeah.
That's
that's one reason why I'm super excited about going down here. Bradley Burnett tipped us another $5, which we appreciate. People want to bash MR2, but if he was on the 49ers or Browns, they're getting 12 wins and going to the playoffs. Watch when we give him a run game. We'll see what happens. Like I said, at this junction, I am done defending. Now from now here on out, all you're gonna get out of me, for the most part, is he'll be gone soon enough. Don't worry. He will be gone soon enough. Like King says, oh my God, I'm just saying this. We get rid of everyone but Matt. Might as well clean the plate 80% of the. All right, look, King, he'll be gone soon enough, brother. Don't you worry. He will be gone soon enough. Eric, 8M7, tipped us $10, which we appreciate greatly. He says, rise up, fellas. Looking forward to the next season already. Can't wait to see what's in store with us next season, preferably with MR2 in a revamped O-line, as well as a fantastic job by the whole P4P crew. Well, thank you. We very much appreciate that, and we are very excited about what's coming up. We're excited about all of our draft coverage and all the good fun stuff that we are doing. Tony Wright says Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins are the Pittsburgh options. With that being said, they would have to give up a big part of their future to trade for Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, or Deshaun Watson. Yeah, I mean, look, if they feel like they are in a Tampa Bay type situation, maybe they're a team that pulls the trigger. I've seen that floated around. If they come with a right package, I'll tell you this: as much as I sit here and defend him, if you come with the right package, bro, you can have him. You can have him. Because like I said, I don't. As much as I enjoy MR2, I just like building a championship team before he retires is a very tall task. I ain't saying it can't be done, but boy, oh boy. Hayden Hughes says, as Falcons fans, we should support any team playing against the Titans, so our second round draft pick is more valuable. Oh man, that's fine. Right now, like, unless they go all the way, like, we're in the 20s already with that pick.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, man, we got a second round pick. That's two picks, in the second round.
Right.
Would I like to be an earlier pick? Yeah, of course. But, we got two of them. So, and we'll see what moves the Falcons make to see if we can get more.
Let's see. Space Ranger Joe says, let's trade Calvin Ridley for an orange Fanta and a 2021 Ford Raptor. Worth every penny. All right, but I got a question, though, Space. Like, is it going to be like a timeshare with the Raptor? Like, do you get the Raptor? I mean, because if I get the Raptor, then we're making the trade all day long. Like I'll sign off on it if I'm getting the Raptor. But if it's like a timeshare kind of thing, where you get the Raptor on Tuesday, Toby gets it on Wednesday, I'll take it on Saturday. But yeah, I don't know. Bubba Gum says we need Ben Jones from Tennessee. Yes, we need Ben Jones from Tennessee. He is definitely one of the guys that I will be talking about in upcoming free agent videos. We need a veteran center. Period. Point blank.
Yes.
Part of the problem is, like, it always works better if the quarterback doesn't have to worry about calling his own protection.
Yeah.
And Matt Ryan definitely could not trust Hennessy, who was probably sipping on too much of his own namesake. And yeah. So anyway, Hayden Hughes says, "What's up?"
I wish they would believe in PFF in talking about Hennessy's a top 10.
Oh please! Oh my God! Man. Look, Look, PFF's grades on our offensive line is a reason alone that y'all should cancel your PFF subscriptions.
God, JR, I wasn't going to go there, but man, geez.
Look, how you going to grade anybody on our offensive line outside of Chris Lindstrom and possibly Jake Matthews that high ever in a game? It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be.
Chris Lindstrom got a brother coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, but I mean, what position does brother play?
Center, and he looks good.
Okay, all right then. We'll put him next to his brother then.
And he's a road grader and a pass.
I like it. I like it. Let's see. Joseph says we have to fix the trenches before we move on from Ryan. I agree, 100%. You ain't gonna win nothing until you fix trenches, and that's on both sides.
Well, we keep getting these top 10 picks.
Hey. That's right.
You like the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, be looking like the Cleveland Browns for a while. Matt Jones says if we had a rookie QB this year, we probably wouldn't have won as many games as we did. I guarantee you we wouldn't have. Bubba Gump says, what's a rookie QB going to do with us O-line? Dre Nelson says the Atlanta Falcons got to get their front office fixed before they do anything else. They will not make the playoffs. They will not make the playoffs next year because of the bad decision being made in the front office. I mean,
I don't care. I don't count on them doing it.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, true. Yeah. You know, I'll be surprised right now. All right, let's see here. Nick says we signed 17 players to the futures contracts and 2 of them from the CFL. Yeah, one of them was like a leading receiver or something, a big body guy. So you could definitely see that they're going to try to remake this wide receiver room into guys that, if nothing else, are going to do some blocking, a la Alan Lazard. You can bring me Alan Lazard from Green Bay and let him open up some holes as well. Let's see.
I'm sorry, but that already just disappointed.
Oh, no. Oh, come on.
That already just disappointed me, dog. I don't want to hear nothing about no 17 players signing future contracts. It probably ain't going to be an Atlanta Falcons. That's probably going to be camp bodies that you just going to be practicing against, and they're not going to make teams.
Yeah, you probably.
And see, this is the stuff that bothers me. And I understand Terry Fontenot talking about, yeah, we got a little money in the cap. The cap don't went up, but there's still going to be challenges. I don't want to hear all that. You and your vice president of player operations, Chris Owens, had a whole year to prepare and figure out a game plan for how you was going to proceed in 2022 to be better. And see, that's why I said them 7 wins is putting a little bit more added pressure on Terry Fontenot now to do a little bit more if they're going to get 8 wins in 2022.
Right. Yeah, no, like that's all I heard all offseason was, Fontenot was a personnel guy. Fontenot was this guy, who'd you say, Chris, what was his name?
Chris Owens.
Chris Owens. Like supposedly this, he don't do nothing but eat, sleep, film or whatever. Okay, well, let's start seeing that.
Yeah, and that's Kyle Smith.
Oh, that's Kyle Smith. Yeah, I knew there was one of them that everybody was like, we ought to be pumped that we got this guy. Okay, well, let's start seeing it.
Yeah,
let's start seeing it,
Hey.
Matty Ghost just tipped us $12, which we appreciate.
Oh,
Says, no way I would take, he says, no way I would take no talent Rudolph or on the phone, no focus Haskins. Haskins would be in all the strip clubs in Atlanta, indulgent, build trenches for 2 years, and then get a QB. Hey, look, for all you people who don't like Matt Ryan, y'all should just be enjoying that he's getting hit. Let him absorb those hits instead of your new rookie. For all y'all that want Bryce Young or Stroud or whatever his name is from Ohio, you better hope that they build a line.
You sure better. And then watch this.
Uh-oh. Actually lost Toby. I don't know if he meant to do that or not. Oh, did you mean to do that?
I did not.
I was about to say, that's a good joke if that's what you meant to do.
No,
Toby said he's going to be gone. Toby said, watch this, I'm out.
Oh, man.
Oh, Josh Maloney says we're going to snatch up Archie Manning, and the rest is history. He ain't even in college yet. We're going to have to, all right, well, fine. We'll wait till then, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Jarvis Murray says, Smoke Monday from Auburn, best safety for the third round. Yeah, but he gets targeting penalties too much. He likes to head hunt. Oh, Lord. I can already tell this is going to be a fun offseason, Toby.
Yeah, man. I'm excited, man.
I am too, man. I'm excited to see what they do. I'm excited to see what moves they make. Because you can talk all the talk you want to.
Yeah.
But if you come back with a roster full of Eric Harris's and Deron Harmons. Again. If you come back with some Cody Gossett and Jason Spriggs.
Yeah.
If you come back with, Mike Davis, Cordell Patterson, and Quadre Olison as your running back room. Like, I'm really going to be like, okay, I guess y'all going to talk out one side and do out the other.
I guess we're going to have some blacked out games.
Yeah, too bad. Yeah, they don't do that blackout game no more. Don't do that. If they did, we would have had it. Joshua says, Toby just tried to pull an AB on us.
Apologize, man. My phone normally does not ring when I'm on the show. So
it's all good. Hey, it all happens. Bradley Burnett says, hey, ain't no targeting in the NFL. He says, give me a Willie Moe replacement. Yeah, they may not be no targeting, but there's unnecessary roughness. He'll get thrown out. There's unsportsmanlike conduct.
Exactly. You'll get ejected.
Yeah, that's right. we still be without Smoke Monday. He'll be in vapors in the wind. He says if they don't pick up a new running back, I'm not watching nothing next year.
Don't even. When I said earlier about some bad front office decision, that was one of them. How in the HE double hockey sticks you going to pass up for Javonte Williams and give him to Denver? Can we please look up his numbers just for fun?
You want to be sad. That's what you want to.
Entertain me for a minute. I want to see what Javonte Williams' numbers were ending the season.
Right, let's see. Come on.
And then look, disrespect to Richie Grant, but you had Javonte Williams right there.
Well, Richie Grant don't know the playbook.
Exactly.
Whatever that's supposed to mean. Like, that bothers me too. Like, didn't you talk to that guy's coaches? All right, so Javonte Williams, a rookie running back who took a little while to get rolling, had 903 yards and four touchdowns.
I'm phone right now. How many touchdowns?
4 touchdowns, 903 yards.
Man.
Hold on, that's just rushing. What did he have receiving?
Terry.
Probably had
Terry.
Man.
Terry.
316 yards receiving. Three receiving touchdowns. So you're looking at 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns as a rookie.
Come on, man. Really?
And he was there for you to take. He was there like.
Now, I'm going to tell you this. I will give Terry an excuse only for this reason. It takes about a year to really put together the draft board, right? So when Terry came in there, this is the only excuse I'm going to give him. The only exception I'm going to give him. He came in there having to work on what Thomas Dimitrov and his staff already had put together. Now, I'm sure they tweaked it a little bit, which is why they took Kyle Pitts. But that may explain the rest of the picks as well that they took. Now, this year, though, you got a full year now that you've had putting this board together and scouting these players that you want. Let's see what you do, Terry.
D. Sloan just tipped us $5, which we appreciate. He says, get an offensive lineman with the second round pick and get you a secondary guy with a second pick. I'm fine with it. To be honest with you guys, like I know you're going to hear me throughout the whole offseason harp on that I want a free agent offensive lineman. You're going to hear me say it a lot because I want a veteran presence. But I'm not going to stick my nose up at a blue chip Kenyon Green, style. You see what I'm saying?
JR, don't you do
Like
it?
I ain't like you ain't gonna hear me fuss at all.
Green.
Because that's one of those guys you draft him and plug him in for 10 years. Not only does that help my beloved MR2, but that also helps the next guy coming in.
Yeah. Guess what?
So,
you decide to move on from Jake Matthews, you got your future left tackle already in hand.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't
do it,
I
JR.
won't be mad. I won't be upset at all. Like I know some people on draft Twitter that will like throw a hissy fit if we draft an O-lineman, but I won't be one of them. Let's see. King says, first and second pick, fellas in the draft. What do we get? Okay, hold on. What do we get that can make an immediate impact? LL, not who y'all want, fellas. Who can make an immediate impact on this team that we can be there in the first and the second? All right, straight up. I'm gonna rapid fire you some, okay? Kyle Hamilton, Derek Stingley, David Ajobo. That's in the first round. Okay. Second round. If you want to go running back, Haskins. But that might be a little high, a little rich. But in the second round, you're looking at like Breece Hall, Isaiah Spiller. Those guys can make an immediate impact, like a Javonte Williams type impact. Outside of that, I haven't gotten much into the receivers. I've heard the name David Bell, I think is his name. Yeah, and Drake London can make an immediate impact on this team. And then I know you don't want to hear about a rookie O-line, but like there's a handful of rookie O-linemen that if you mess around and get a Kenyon Green, Zion Johnson, if you mess around and Evan Neal is sitting there, like he ain't going to be, but if he's sitting there in the first round, like all those guys, that's the thing right now that I need y'all to understand is that there almost ain't no wrong pick in the first and second round. Not with the way this roster sits. Shane Elliott just brought up, says, you think we could trade back and pick up more picks? If somebody's there, yes. Like trade partner-wise, sure. And get Jordan Davis in the first and Sam Williams in the second. If you trade back in the, like from 8 to the mid-range and you get Jordan Davis is sitting there, take him.
So I got a question. So where does he see Jordan Davis at? Do you see him as a top 10, or is he saying Jordan Davis is outside?
It sounds like he's saying Jordan Davis is outside the top 10.
I don't see.
Right. I know you don't. That's why I read that, because I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of give some early thoughts on that.
I did come down off my high, and I put him back down at 9. Because I do believe Kenyon is top 7 pick. And if I had to choose now, because if it was outside of 10, I was going Chris Olave. Right. But now that it's inside of 10, Kenyon Green is my guy all day, every day.
I got you.
So, but Jordan Davis, to me, I believe is going to blow the combine out of the water. And he's going to stay in that top 10. Now, the only way he won't is if he does not. But I can see this guy having a big-time vertical jump and running the 40 a lot better than what people think he can do at his size.
Willie Doc tipped us $10 or $2 rather, which we appreciate that, Willie. He says, "Do you think we are getting impatient because of Super Bowl 51?" That has something to do with it. Like you still feel like you're not that far removed from playing in a Super Bowl, but also like this fan base finally got a taste of consistency. Yeah. And once you finally get a taste of consistency, now you want it to go from, you don't want to go backwards. Like you want to continue to be at the bottom. The bar has been raised. The bar has been raised to be a consistent team is what you're wanting. Like we could talk all the smack we want to, but until 2008, you didn't have back-to-back winning seasons, so you didn't know what that was like as a fan base.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, you had all the excitement of, the Prime era and then the Vic era, but you didn't have the
Right.
substance. Okay? Like, so you get into the Ryan era, you get substance with the consistency. So the bar then gets raised. And then you start going to multiple playoffs and multiple like divisional round championship games. You lose one in 2012, obviously win one in 2016 and go to the Super Bowl. Like, you start to understand now what teams like the Steelers felt like in a sense. Obviously not that storied, but teams that have been consistent. Right.
Winning, yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's what you want, and that's what you're looking for. And that's what you're wanting to get
Mhm.
back to. You don't
Yep.
want to go backwards. And that's why I'm not in any shape or form like advocating or thinking that we should be running Arthur Smith or Terry Fontenot out of town. Because you
Right.
start doing that junk, getting a new coach every 2-3 years, and you will be the Browns. You will be the Giants. You will be Jacksonville. Like, you got to give these coaches time to implement their vision. Like, you have to. Yes, it may suck. You may turn around and it be the Vikings 8 years into Zimmer and not much to show for it. But you
Right.
have to give these guys time. You have to.
Yeah.
Like, you,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, you can't be like the Dolphins and letting Brian Flores go after 2 winning seasons.
Yeah.
Like, obviously we don't know all the internal struggles or strife or whatever, but that optics looks bad. You know, Arizona even realized that after letting Wilkes go, and there were rumblings about go ahead and moving on from Kingsbury, but you got to give these guys time.
Yeah. 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 I mean, like I said, there's 3 key areas right now that I see the Falcons in the next 2 years. We already passed the year of evaluation, but now you're in the year of establishing the culture. You know the culture you want. Patterson is a definite model of that culture that you want here, and you got to find other players like him. And year 3 is where I see win.
Yeah.
Because I think if you don't put this team together right, because 2022 is very pivotal in you getting to 2023 and setting this up for a winning culture.
Exactly. Like Willie says, amen and thank you, JR and Toby. Ain't no problem, brother. We appreciate you asking the questions. But Joshua says, he brings up Joe Judge and the Giants. That's right. Now, Judge shot himself in the foot. I mean, you can't be QB sneaking on 3rd and 9 on your side of the ball or on your side of the field. Like, that's just silly. You can't do that kind of stuff. Cornelius Bryant says Slayer from UGA should hopefully be there around the 2nd or 3rd round. Yeah, he put up a good. Go ahead.
Slayer to me is a better left guard than he is a left tackle, and I think that's going to be interesting to see how he is viewed when we get to the Senior Bowl, because he is another invitee at the Senior Bowl. When I watch him, this draft is so packed with left tackle. We're probably going to have about 6 that are potentially going to go in the 1st round. It's that crowded right now. It's going to push some. It's so crowded. It's going to push some guys down. They probably could have gone in the 2nd, 1st, and early 2nd round that you might have there. One example, Rasheed Walker is a guy to keep a lookout for from Penn State, because this guy here should be a potential late 1st rounder. But he's not getting a grade like that right now. He's like an early 3rd. But I think if he can have a good combine, his name should be a name to look for.
King 7 says, hey, fellas, what do y'all think about Marlon Davidson this year? Do you feel he will shape out for us? I don't know, man. Like, he's a guy that you keep, like, waiting to see if he's going to produce. I feel like he'll be better with a P's, but still, like, he's a guy that got drafted as a stand-up rusher. Like, that's what he did in college. And this is when you start like, oh, well, he's projected better to be a defensive tackle. Okay. That's not what he did in college. That's not what got you looking at him. What got you looking at him was that big of a dude standing up in a 2-point stance rushing folks.
Right.
If you're not willing to do that with him, and I'm talking about the previous regime, obviously, but if you're not willing to do that with him, then you can't necessarily be surprised at the lack of production.
Right.
You know, so it wouldn't surprise me if he's a guy that got cut, honestly. Like, I think there's going to be some shock this offseason that we kind of expected last year. But now that the year of evaluation is over, I think there's going to be some shock that we're going to be all like, man, I can't believe they cut that guy. So, D. Sloan tipped us $5, which we appreciate. But you got to put a comment with it, D. You can't just leave it hanging out there like that. I'll read this other one up here. D says, and with this draft class and free agency, we should be able to fill these roles we're lacking. And that's the hope. That's what you're going in there to do, is fill these holes. Let's see. Gerald Reed says, if Ryan got the protection he needed, he'd pick the defense apart. Maybe. Who knows? I mean, also part of the issue is like, you know, you ain't got nobody that is getting open really outside of Pitts.
Yeah.
So,
you forced Gage into the number one role.
He's definitely not suited for that.
Yeah.
And Blake and Zacchaeus never really did step up.
They're role players,
at
man.
Best. At best, they are definitely role players. Well, brother, man, we are pushing up on about an hour and 25, so I think that's about a good time to wrap this thing up. As this being the last stream of the season, we won't have a live stream next week. We're going to start implementing our usual off-season every other week stream, but that doesn't mean we're not going to have videos on the channel. That's part of the reason why we're doing an every other week stream. That'll give us time to record videos on guys like Traylon Burks and Drake London, and you know, do some like draft profile stuff and free agent profile stuff. Like try to get like interviews lined up. We got an idea for this off season to actually like get y'all more involved, like with y'all's mock drafts. Like I'm gonna be reaching out to some folks and doing like Fan Friday type mock draft recordings. So keep an eye out for stuff like that. If you want to get involved with that, make sure you shoot us an email at poundforpound@gmail.com. Hit me up on Twitter. There's a million different ways to get a hold of me and Toby nowadays. So if you want to be involved in like a Fan Friday kind of deal, where we go through and do a mock draft, and then make sure you get in touch with us, because that's going to be something we're going to do going forward. So yeah, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of content coming up with the Senior Bowl and all that jazz. So just keep an eye on the channel. And like I said, we're going to be we might move stream days. I'm going to get y'all's feelings on that. We might go back to Tuesday night streams, so that I can go back to church on Wednesday nights. So y'all let me know how you feel on that. If y'all like the idea of going back to a Tuesday, same time, 7 p.m., but might switch it to a Tuesday, or might go to a Thursday, something like that. But I'm gonna put a poll out there on the channel and on Twitter and see what y'all think. All right, I'm gonna read 2 more and then we're gonna get out of here. D. Sloan says, be on the lookout for a guy by the name of Jeremiah Jamil. He was awesome at UNC, plays linebacker and also edge. He will be in the Senior Bowl as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, if there's some guys at the Senior Bowl y'all want us to look at, make sure y'all drop that in the comments too. Tony Wright says, after trading Calvin Ridley and Deion Jones, hell, he done traded everybody. He says, after trading Calvin Ridley and Deion Jones, this is how the draft should look. With the Julio Jones trade, first round, 3 second rounders, 2 thirds, and 2 fourth rounders. That would be great. That would be great because we could use every one of those picks. But we'll see how all that transpires. We've got plenty of time to talk about all that stuff. As always, y'all can find me on Twitter. I'm at Grim1128, GRIMM1128. Toby?
Toby D 1991, and please make sure y'all check out P4PATL.com because we will have a lot of draft prospects up there, write-ups on them, and you get to see our takes, JR and myself. We've already got guys on there. You want to go check them out from O-line to the D-line to the running back. So go check that out, P4PATL.com.
That's right. And like I said, that's yet another way to get a hold of us there. So, all right, folks. I would say just win, but we are done with that. So I guess we'll change up the slogan to just draft good. No, I'm just kidding. All right, folks. Well, I'll let y'all. Peace.
Peace.